Okay, so what's your name and what do you do?
My name is Emmy Dyer. I'm a graphic and web designer. I've been in the industry doing graphic and web design since 2015, and here we are almost a decade later.
So why are we here today?
We are here today to talk about my experience as a designer and what trials and tribulations have come with the growth. Things have happened, and I'm ready to share a story.
Okay, so why are you ready to talk about it right now?
Why now is because it was very traumatic for me, and I'm just now ready to talk about it. And my therapist, who I've gotten because of this whole situation, recommended it. And I was like, you know what, girl, you're right. So I'm ready for myself.
So can you kind of give us a synopsis of what you're about to talk about, and then we'll go into the details of it all?
Yeah. So I was the graphic and web designer for Dressed in Lala from, I believe it was end of 2020, it could be beginning of 2021, to late 2022. And I'm going to share my side of the story. Ultimately, I was never once given recognition. I wasn't allowed to claim them as my own, and they actually got claimed as the company's own. So I'm going to go into further detail about that and how it's affected me in my life. I met the owner of the company through Instagram. I was doing graphic merch apparel design for another company, which was super cool. And she had worn one of a Dressed in Lala piece. I created a really strong relationship with the owner just through Instagram.
Okay. Would you say that you guys were friends or more just
I mean, I thought we were, yeah.
Okay. You actually land the position.
She posted a story, and this is where I can't remember if it was December 2020 or January 2021. It was one of those. She posted a story that she was looking for a graphic designer, and I slid into her DMs, and I was like, yo, girl, it's me. I'm the answer, it's me. And she was like, duh. Why didn't we connect this? And we just started texting. A Pinterest board was made, and it was Lala X Emmy, and we literally just started texting ideas. I think the first one I ever did, which I'll put it on the screen, not made or not meant to be subtle, something like that, and it was a hit. She sold it. It was a hit. I loved it. I just loved, we vibe together. We have similar style. We both know what's going on in the fashion world, and it was really good. And so then we just did another one. And I'll have you note, this whole time, we didn't have a contract. We were friends texting back and forth. We did one shirt just to see how it would go, and it went great. And so we started doing more and more and more.
So how long did this go on for before things got a little bit rocky?
Things for me on my end got a little bit weird after 9 months, I'd say. So for 9 months, I pumped out graphic. And just to let you know how the design process went is I was usually told a saying, and maybe a couple words like alien or tiger or lightning bolt, something like that. But I designed everything, whether that was me drawing on my iPad or drawing on my computer with Adobe Illustrator is what I use, or getting vectors and art elements and fonts from Creative Market, Free Pick, using those, which if you're a designer, you know what that is. I would choose color combinations, I would choose the fonts, I would choose the specific elements, just like every normal client. And this is the weird part, is I feel like I'm having to explain myself in this video, but for all other 9,000 of my clients, I've never had to explain that it was my artwork and that it's right. Their brand but my artwork. Right. I've never had to explain that. So the first 9 months when we were doing graphics and stuff, she would post about them on Fridays. Obviously you have to post what you're marketing and whatnot, selling, And then I would share it on my page, and I would specifically always say like, oh my gosh, I got the opportunity to design this for my client dressed in Lala. Go buy it. I literally sent everyone there to go buy it. Have you know, I also had to buy these pieces. I just was there for the ride and the opportunity, and what I wanted was to just show the world like, hey, look at this opportunity that I've gotten. Like, I'm designing with cool people, I'm making clothes. People around the country are literally wearing the clothes I designed and they're loving it. Like, all I ever really wanted was credit. And just like a little bit. Like, I don't need to be plastered on everything. I just wanted like a little bit of credit. At the time, it wasn't claimed on her website that they were made in-house. But what was happening, and this is where things started to get weird, because in the beginning she was fine with me tagging and posting and sharing, but it was when she literally used the words that she designed it thoughtfully and creatively and all this stuff on her stories that I was like, that's weird. It was the claims being made. It was like I didn't exist. In this time too, I also did a complete rebrand for her and completely redid her website as well. And then I was doing like the weekly story series for a little bit, but then she wanted me to focus more on designs because things really started amping up and I was starting to do the original Lala designs that you guys all wear today. But we designed the first sweater, and I'll put it on the screen here. We actually designed it as one sweater, and because you have to have a minimum color amounts when you're making knitwear, we turned it into two different ones with my pattern. So with this sweater that we designed, one of them was launched first, the other was launched like a couple weeks later, and there was kind of like a new marketing tactic going on that she was using, and that was sending it to influencers and micro influencers. The sweater was gifted or sent to a lot of micro influencers in this online community, which there definitely is. Like, there's like an online fashion, like maximalist dopamine dressing community. Like, it is so real. And yeah, it was sent to a lot of people, and those people were my friends. So I had my friends wearing this sweater that I didn't even get a free one of. I had to go buy it myself when it launched. And so I think that's when my feelings started getting hurt quite a bit. But the way my friends actually, they were tagging in their stories or their posts or whatever, like, go get the sweater from Justin Lala. My friend Emmy designed it. They're like such a perfect pair. They make magic together. Like, even outsiders were like, yeah, they're doing this together. It's cool. The way people knew it is because I would post about it on like Instagram, Pinterest, etc. And I would say, go buy this. Like, it's super dope. I designed it, etc. So that's when I was just like, something's got to change. So then it was end of January, and I believe she mentioned that she had a big meeting coming up for new designs for fall 2023. And she asked me if I wanted to be a part of them and help her out. And I was like, absolutely. So this ended up being like the biggest chunk of work we've ever done together. This is where a lot of the designs that you see today were made. This is when, I guess. It was February 2022. All of the designs that people love and wear, the ones on Vanderpump Rules, the ones inside of Nordstrom, the ones that you see all over TikTok, were made in this time by me. I was given a list of like maybe 12, 15 things. Like 8 balls, horseshoes, aliens, tigers, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, so we did a bunch of patterns like that for the silk sets. And then we did a bunch of knitwear. And then some of the basic cardigans. So like the most popular one is the alien, and it's like black, or there's a purple one. And aliens are kind of like randomly placed, and it's on a sweater. And I would place where the aliens would go, and then that would get sent to the manufacturer for them to make. At this time, I believe it was Pinterest. I was told to take something off of Pinterest or something, and it was the verbiage. It strictly needed to be noted that I am a graphic designer and I do not design apparel, which, okay. So my assistant changed the wording on literally every post on every social media to graphic pattern design for my client XYZ. We changed it all. Fast forward to September 2022. I'm still doing like maybe 1 or 2 graphics for her through the whole summer. And then I go to something called Magic Convention, and that is a wholesale fashion convention. And I went with my friends, and I had zero intentions other than I knew I wanted it to be my next step in the fashion world. I was like, I could get maybe hired by someone. I could be an influencer for someone. Like, I was just so open, and I literally prayed, and it was like, God, whatever you want to happen and whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen on this trip. Otherwise, I'm just going to go have fun in New York with my best friend. All in all, I was going there to shake hands and hand out my business card. So yeah, we did that. And when we got there, we were there for like an hour or 2, and we go to a booth, and it has neon signs and bright colors, and it was literally screaming my name. My friends, like, we looked at each other, we're like, we gotta go there. Like, it was so cute. And I was wearing a top that I had done the pattern design for, and got complimented a lot the whole time I was there, but specifically by the girl running this. And I was like, oh, thanks. I designed it for my client dressed in Lala. And she goes, wait a minute. And she goes and grabs the actual owner is there. And I told her that I want to start doing things in fashion, like make my own designs, like whatever. I'm just like, I'm here open to opportunity. For me, I was like, it clicked, and I was like, okay, this is why I came here. We can leave now. We can go have fun in New York. But what happened was we made an appointment, an arrangement to meet each other again in 2 months. They asked me to come prepared with designs, and we would meet at their warehouse in LA and plan them all out. Pick fabrics, pick colors, pick launch dates, everything. Me and my friend, we go to LA, and we go to meet with the company that we met in New York. And it's like the day or 2 before we fly out, my friend asked me, like, hey, we met a couple other people that are in LA too. Do you want to meet with one of them? Or do you just think this company's the one? And I was like, if they can fit us in last minute, sure, let's do it. So we ended up getting like an 8 a.m. meeting, and it was amazing. And I was like, that was crazy to my friend. And she was like, we were like, why are we even going to the second meeting? But it was the whole reason we were there. So we went to the second meeting, still like good intentions in mind. And I was honestly just getting quotes from these people at the time. I went in blind. I was just learning about the fashion industry. I knew nothing. We went to our next meeting, and, you know, we were greeted with gifts, and it was cool. It was fun. And the vibes just turned off. I ended up like basically pulling the meeting early. Like, we just kind of like stopped talking about it, and I was like, okay, like everything sounds good, like let's, you know, get me quotes and whatnot. That happened, and I was like, it's okay, like that meeting went kind of weird because we met with those first people, and it was, I'm not kidding you, like even still to this day I think about it, and I was like, that was magical. I didn't end up working with them, which is whatever, but it was a really cool experience. So we got an Uber, we got back to our hotel, and shortly after I got a phone call from that second manufacturer that I met with, the one that I came there for. And they called me, and they're like, hey, Emmy, we have the owner of Dressed in Lala on the phone asking about you and asking if you're here and why you're here. And I was like, you didn't tell them, did you? Because that's like an invasion of privacy. And he was like, no, we didn't say anything, but she did say that you have a contract and told us not to work with you. And I said, well, that's false information. We do not have a contract. We've never had a contract. And this is really bizarre. I was literally like floored. I was like, how did she find out where I am? So then I got the phone call from the people and I messaged her and I was like, hey, they're calling me. This business is calling me right now saying you're asking about me and my whereabouts, and apparently you told them that we have a contract together. What she was saying is like, I didn't say we have a contract together. I said that you are a contracted worker. And I got that screenshot of what a contracted worker meant because apparently I didn't know what that meant, which I do. It means that I am not in-house and I am a separate entity from her company and just like completely separate. So regardless, they said that it was a contract, like a non-compete. What had ended up happening is on the phone call with the company, they were like, this is honestly really bizarre behavior. We've never had anything like this happen before, and we're so sorry. Like, it's uncomfortable. It was weird. Like, I felt like I was being stalked. Then they're like, don't worry, Emmy. Like, we had a great meeting. We got you covered. We'll talk to you next week. What happened was we just finished our trip in LA and then went home. Monday morning, I get an email from the company and I was told that because of the whole situation and conflict of interest on their part, they're choosing not to move forward with me. I had then felt like I, had wasted a trip to New York, away to LA, and those trips are away from my whole family. They're away from the rest of my businesses and my clients, away from my kids, like away from everything. A couple days later, I was then messaged by her and was told to remove any work that I've ever done for her company from all social media platforms, my website, my portfolio, everything. Remove the jargon of like her name and the fact that I had ever designed any of it, and that I would no longer be part of the company, and that they were just gearing up to protect themselves for 2023 because it was about to be a big year. And then she questioned the way that I completed some of the artwork, and it was just, that's when it got a little crazy, because at the same time, I believe it's the same week, my husband left his job for the benefit of our family. We were going through a lot personally, as parents, and he had to leave his job because my work is more flexible. So I was defeated. I felt defeated, but I was in like fight or flight mode. I had to get a lawyer.
Did end up taking everything down.
I did end up taking everything down, but only by choice. Not because it was the legal thing to do. I did it by choice because at the time, and this is why this is coming forward 2 years later, a year and a half later, is because my mental health could not handle it. I just wanted to make it go away and forget about it and start getting some new clients. I replied back with a legal document that I had to pay several $1,000s for. So fast forward 3 months later, I finally get out of my little slump and I'm ready to take some sort of action. I just wanted to stand up for like designers, because a lot of designers don't get paid enough, they don't get enough credit, just get taken advantage of. Like even photographers will get tagged on every single post that they do, even if they just take a picture and slap someone else's filter on it, like that they buy. So the design industry is just really weird. You don't get a lot of credit for the actual art that you produce. So I started to want to advocate for designers. And then also I hired a lawyer, and I wanted to know everything there was about designing legally and doing business legally. And that's what I did. I trademarked my business. I got contracts that are bulletproof. I invested a lot in my education and then my contractual agreements with clients. And also, I didn't just write the contracts to protect me. My lawyer wrote them and I approved them, but we wrote them so it would protect them as well. And like there was clear agreements on what they can do with the designs and what I can do. That was what the beginning of 2023 looked like. I was finally starting to feel some power again. And then the people that I did meet with, I ended up not working with them. I got samples. The quality was not there at all. It was like 3 out of 10. The prices weren't good, especially for the quality. And so I pulled the plug. I didn't give up on MEAV quite yet, but I did book tickets to Nashville, which there's a magic show in Nashville in April. Again, I have no real intentions here. Anything could happen. I mean, I'd love to find someone to produce clothing with, but like, I was so open. Even I was actually talking with the people who put on the convention. Like I was talking with them and I was telling them like, I'm so open to opportunity and I want to be in the fashion industry. That's all I know. Like at the end of the day, I love designing clothes, styling them. It's just fun. And it's what I've always loved. So I went and I met the company who I am still working with today. I ended up launching my first Emmy Av original in September of 2023. So this was in April. I met them in April, launched the first one in September. Ever since then, I've launched a couple. We just came out with our new like half and half pants. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to actually give up on Emmy Av, but I've invested so much in on it, and it's like this is what I'm passionate about and what I want to do. This is like my dream. Emmy Av is my dream, and I'm just doing pieces one at a time now. I decided not to take like this huge investment. I'm doing everything with cash. I would love to. I have so many designs in my head, and I want everybody to wear them all the time. But I'm not quite at that level where I can release that many designs at a time. This is the next design though, what I'm wearing right now. It's going to be launching in May 20th. And then we just had a launch that just happened on April 21st. And that's a bunch of cool new graphics, a bunch of our own accessories made in-house by my sister. I now have 3 businesses. I have Emmy Dyer Design, which is my main business. I'm a graphic and web designer. I actually do a lot of branding for other boutiques that you like know and love. And I love, and we all hype each other up. None of us block each other. We buy each other's stuff, and it's a great community. And then I have Emmy Av, which is my fun printed graphics, manufactured designs. And then I started something with my husband called Dyer Ink, and that is the actual printing and pressing of graphic garments. And so Emmy Av is essentially a client of Dyer Ink, and Dyer Ink also takes other clients as well. We take clients who want like their actual graphic designs on apparel, or you can order just like the DTF, which if you're in the fashion industry, you know what DTF, it's direct to film. So you can heat press it yourself. So we sell both of those, and yeah, we're growing all of our businesses now.
The point of the video, what was it for you?
I just wanted people to know that the designs were done by me.
Okay.
And I didn't want full credit for every single detail about it. I just like the actual design themselves, the pattern design. I wanted people to know that. And I want to be able to say like, you can literally go to Nordstrom.com and find my designs. Like that was on my computer in my bedroom. I made that.
Well, I know this is probably hard for you to talk about, but it seems like you're in a better headspace now. Yes. I would say, do you think?
Yeah. So when I said that I had taken a couple months and I started to feel myself again on social media, and within my business, stand up for the design community, etc. I was looking good on Instagram, but your girl wasn't looking too hot in real life. Like, I had gotten into the darkest, deepest depression of my entire life. My anxiety was at an all-time high. I literally couldn't leave my driveway. I physically couldn't pull out of my driveway with my family to leave the house. Like, I was not okay. And so I ended up getting a therapist, getting a psychiatrist, meeting with them very often, figuring out what medication I needed to be on, finding the right dosage. It did take me a year to hit that rock bottom and come back up.
Okay, so not that this video is gonna like scare anybody, but do you have any advice to business owners or designers, or what can you tell them?
That is a great question. So this video is quite lengthy. I'm gonna end this one here. However, I do have a podcast coming end of spring 2024. Check out my Instagram at It's Emmy Dyer for the actual release date on that. But I want to ask me questions about all of this. Like, I want what I've been doing since the beginning of time, I feel like, is helping other business owners. Like, my actual career is built on helping other business owners. Like, I help brand you, do your websites, your merch, everything. Ask me questions. I want to start a podcast that empowers people, business owners, podcast to help you is coming end of spring 2024, and I will expand on anything and everything.
Love. I love that.
Love that for you.
Do you want to end it somehow?
Okay, catch me on all my socials and all my businesses. I'm very happy and relieved to have this out here. And if you're new, come say hi.
And